Hey Gabe,
What's up, Ray?
fun fact. Do you know that you only need $150 only to survive on ramen for a year?
$150
Yeah.
to survive on ramen for a year?
Mm-hmm.
When you can subscribe once to One Plate Gourmet for regular weekly content and the best ingredient recipes? What are we doing, Ray? What are they doing? Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of One Plate Gourmet. Today we'll be making ramen yet again. This time we'll be making a more complex version than the first. Joining us today will be Raymond Walker, so stick around and see his take on this exquisite dish. Let's begin, shall we? 1 onion, sesame seeds, soy sauce, sesame oil, seaweed, a knob of ginger, 1 whole garlic, 3 mushrooms, 2 eggs, 1 carrot, some scallions, pork bones, pork loin, and ramen noodles, which look like they're the packet ones, but this is the real deal. I promise you, it's not from the packet. Alright? First, let's prep our ingredients. So to do this, we will roughly chop up our 3 baby bella mushrooms into medium cuts. We'll do the same for our peeled ginger as well as our onions and carrots, making sure to remove the base and any unwanted parts. Next, for our scallions, we'll remove the base and chop them into smaller sizes, but just reserve 2 or 3 for our broth. Now into some boiling water, place about a pound of our pork bones for 15 minutes and then strain it. We aren't going for a clear broth in this recipe, so don't worry too much about the blanching process. Go ahead and rinse your bones and then place back into the pot with your onions and carrots, your garlic, your ginger, mushrooms, and some of those scallions I had told you to save from before. Submerge them with enough cold water just to cover the top, and then go ahead and bring it to a boil. Then reduce the heat and simmer for, about 5 hours, give or take. And in the last hour, go ahead and finish the rest of the dish, starting with the pork, which we will not marinate, but instead simply season with salt and some black pepper. In a pan over medium heat, use a tablespoon of sesame oil and lay in your pork loin away from you to not splatter any oil on yourself, which will in turn not scar you for life, and cook them for about 3 to 5 minutes on each side. For the eggs, introduce them into boiling water and cook for 6 minutes. I'm just spinning the eggs in the water to try to center the yolk, after which remove and shock in an ice bath to halt the cooking process. You want the yolk to look slightly gelatinous when you cut into it. After your pork has rested for about 5 minutes, proceed to cut it into strips for plating purposes and set it aside. Now back to our broth, which should be done and taste somewhat wholesome. Strain the bones and vegetables carefully and keep the heat on low. We're going to move on to the last part of our dish, which is the noodles. They cook relatively fast to all of this, so you want to do it last. In some boiling water, throw in your noodles and gently separate with a fork. Leave it to cook for about 3 minutes and no longer. The noodles should be a little firm and not too soft. Then we can move on to plating. In a bowl, add about 2 tablespoons soy sauce and 2 tablespoons sesame oil. Then go ahead and ladle in your broth as these profiles blend nicely into each other. And then once all said and done, add in your ramen however you see fit and start to place your pork strips circumferentially, surrounding your ramen like a bathhouse with one wall. Place your 2 eggs and your seaweed or nori if you're feeling cultural. Spring onions on the side and bedazzle with sesame seeds. For what is man without his belly, and what is ramen without the assembly? Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it.
Hello everyone, welcome to One Bowl Gourmet. Sorry, I meant One Plate Gourmet. And here I'm going to be doing an Asian Caribbean style ramen that I think you guys are really going to like. And it's going to be accompanied in with these ingredients: spring onion, white onion, red peppers, green peppers, ginger, thyme, Scotch bonnet, rice vinegar, soy sauce, sesame oil, garlic, exactly 3 cloves, 1 egg, only 1, onion powder, garlic powder, sugar, sesame seeds, and the king of flavor MSG. And then your ramen noodle packet that you could get at an Asian convenience store. We're gonna begin by chopping up our peppers, both the green and the red. It adds a lot of variety flavor to the dish, and this is a very good staple when it comes to Caribbean soups or even any kind of Caribbean dish. This is gonna be a very good Asian Caribbean fusion style ramen. We're gonna create the spice while maintaining the integrity of, the entire dish. We're going to be working on the spring onions next. You're going to separate the bottom from the top half. The bottom will be used in the dish for when you're working on the broth, and then the top will be used as a garnish for the finale when you're placing it into the ramen bowl. It's going to apply the fragrance of the spring onion to the dish while I'm also maintaining the flavor of the spring onion as well. Then we're going to begin to mince our white onions, which is a very staple for any kind of broth that you're kind of making, even for soups most of the time. Then you're going to be working on the ginger. Ginger is a very important staple ingredient for any kind of broth or any kind of soup in Asian and Caribbean cuisine. After you've cut your ginger into medium-sized pieces, you're going to begin peeling it and getting it ready. Afterwards, you're going to place your red peppers, green peppers, onions, and spring onions into the pot, and you're going to let it have a nice good sweat for about 2 minutes, just to let the flavor come out of it and get the pot ready for when you start putting things in. We're going to add 2 bowls of water just to fill up to the vegetables, and then we're going to add 3 knobs of ginger. We're going to add our garlic powder, onion powder. We're going to add MSG. As my Uncle Roger would tell me, it is the king of flavor. You're going to be mixing your sugar with your rice vinegar, and that is going to be your substitute for mirin for this ramen dish. After a boil, you're going to add your garlic. You're going to add your Scotch bonnet, make sure to cut it open. You're going to add your thyme, break it down into pieces. Then you're going to add your sesame seeds that you finished grinding, and then you're going to begin stirring, and that's going to create the delicious umami. As your broth is cooking for an hour, you're going to begin working on your ramen noodles for about 3 minutes. And then after that, you're going to add your sesame oil and your soy sauce, and you're going to begin mixing it in. And it should infuse the noodles, and then you're going to put it to the side while it's still hot. Then you're going to begin boiling your egg for 6 minutes. Once it's done, you're going to put it into some cold water for about 1 minute. And then you're going to be bringing back your broth, and you're going to see that all of the vegetables have been infused. We're going to begin plating our dish, and this is a vegetarian dish. I really appreciate it because I have a lot of vegetarian friends, and this is something they can greatly enjoy with a lot of kick. It's Asian Caribbean style, so the broth is very brimming with enough heat to send your whole body through a happy dance. We're going to add our soy sauce sesame infused ramen, and then we're going to add the eggs to complement it. As it marinates, it's going to infuse with the spicy broth. We're going to garnish it, and then that is pretty much it. Here you have it. Why are you in the middle?
It's my channel. Like always, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. If you want to see the trailer for this episode,
then you gotta click that video right there.
And if you want to see more, then you can...
No, you gotta click it right down there. That one, right there.
Thank you, Raymond.
No problem, bro.
And as always, thanks for watching.